this season so far, and this is critical for him because his goal by the end of the season is to finish in the top 10.
Well, it's unusual for somebody like Dave Reinhardt to even be in the finals. I mean, he's 31 years old, but he's able to pull it out. I mean, he's a freestyle skier by trade, and he's out here competing with some of these guys that are only half as old as him. There he goes on a backside half cab. He's got a few seconds left. Nice edge into the wake for a Rayleigh.
Little low on the Rayleigh, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, his style is not up to the level of, say, a Parks Bonifay, but you know, he goes for it and he lands his tricks.
And we've talked about this all season, Tony. He's not. He goes out and gets the job done, but he's not nearly as animated as a Shannon Best or maybe a Kobe Mikasic.
Yeah, he just gets his tricks done, each trick one at a time, and makes it happen. He's got the experience, but he doesn't really get the same amount of air, and he doesn't connect his tricks as well as we'd like to see.
Dave Reinhardt, you add up the style and the trick points, 9,320 for the first pass, 25 seconds on the clock, another 5 tricks coming at you.
There was a tantrum by Dave Reinhardt. This rough water is affecting him, but it's not affecting him to the point where he can't do his tricks. There's a switch stance crip, very, very ugly, but he holds on to it. There's a backside roll to revert. He started out forwards, and now the board is in the fakie position.
Time running out.
And he makes it. There was a switch stance Rayleigh. Now that Rayleigh was a little bit what we call the stargazer. He stargazed it. The board turned and wasn't square to the boat. It's a little bit, look, see the board right there, how it's turned. It's not square to the boat. But the judges in this type of situation give him the points for the trick, but not that many style points.
Yeah, just under 9,000 on pass number 2. The total 18,205, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, rough conditions, windy weather, and we expect scores to be down a little bit today. But this is the old dog. They call him dog. This is his old freestyle name. Greg Nekrasen on the water now again. 25 seconds on the clock for Greg. Clock's ticking away. 5 tricks in this first pass.
Regs is his nickname. Greg Nekrasen. He's having a hard time getting a good carve into the wake. Almost goes down. I mean, look at the water conditions. It's terrible. Greg saw the water conditions a little bit earlier, decided to tone down his pass a little bit. There's just a little transition right there. And here's a backside Rayleigh. Look at the difference in his Rayleigh to Reinhardt's.
Rough conditions here in Omaha, Nebraska. And this guy's out of Orlando, of course, as are many wakeboarders. And he's probably used to those glass, calm lakes.
Yeah, Greg rides right in front of his house. He has a beautiful dock where he rides every day right in front of his house, but he doesn't ride in conditions as rough as this. He's also the former junior men's world champion. So we'll see what he does here on his second pass. 9,345 points on his first pass is not bad.
Not bad for Nekrasen on the second pass, as we mentioned. Watch for the optional wild card trick at the end. It'll only be good for style points, though.
Greg goes big on that backside crip. Here's a front roll to revert, or a scarecrow, which Greg nails. Tantrum, going big. Look at this. The water conditions are so rough, and Greg's still out there having a good time. That's a front roll. He's got one more trick left. He nails it, a half cab roll. He does his passes in these conditions. That's unreal.
He's got time left on the clock, and I'll tell you, by the end of the day, anybody who stands him up might walk away the winner.
Here's his tantrum. Nice extension, good rotation. Bobbles a little bit on the landing, but I mean, that's got to be expected with these conditions. And then on his last trick of his second pass, front side half cab roll. Greg gets good rotation, lands it clean.
Nicely done for Greg Nekrasen, especially given the conditions. Now remember, Reinhardt was just under 19,000, 95.90 for the second. Kobe Mikasic on the water, an up and down season for him so far.
Kobe's had some strong finishes, but he hasn't yet been in the winner's circle, but he's been in the finals quite a bit. Kobe told me before the contest that he was still going to put in some hard tricks. Let's see if he can pull them out. Right now he's setting up for an air roll to revert. Oh! He was actually going fakie. That was an air half cab roll where he started revert and landed forward, or at least tried to. This is a trick that he can nail 99 times out of 100. It's just that the water is so rough that it's making it difficult. The rotation was fine.
Yeah, nice landing.
Just bobbled because of the chop and went down.
All the competitors have to submit their trick sheets 1 hour prior to competition. So, you know, an hour ago, the water could have been even a little bit calmer. You wonder if somebody put the big tricks in there and now they're bumming.
That's always a possibility. The strategic maneuvering of all these riders is a lot more than most people think.
Just under 4,000 points in the first run. It's virtually impossible for Kobe to put anything together to be in the running here in Omaha now.
But he comes in switch stance for a switch stance front flip and goes down. That's also a trick that he normally could nail. and it's unfortunate that he went down on it. Let's see what happened. He doesn't get the same carb. He's not as far back on the board as he would like to be. He's not getting that good pull against the boat. Lands a little bit flat and goes down.
Rough ride for Kobe. Might lose him in the wave, Stone.
We might not be able to see him underneath some of these swells. He's going for a backside carb right there and does his grip nicely. Nice extension, good landing. Trying to get a good edge in these type of conditions is tough. There's a scarecrow, front side, front roll to revert. Hoochie glide. Makes a landing.
Again, 2 passes, 25 seconds for each pass, 5 mandatory tricks in each run. I got to tell you, he is standing up the cleanest out of everyone we've seen so far.
Ends his pass with a tantrum to fakie. Sean Murray crosses himself. Happy that he stood up that pass. You know, when I was out there earlier today on the Sea-Doo, going behind the Sea-Doo on my wakeboard, I noticed that it was just very, very difficult. I'm amazed that these guys are able to do what they can. I mean, the wind is whipping around. It's gusting, and still, Sean Murray, Greg Nekrasen, and Dave Reinhardt so far been able to stand up their passes.
Remember, Nekrasen, 18,935 is our leader. Murray, a nice first score, 9,865, the combination of the trick and style points. Pass number 2, stand it up, and he could be our new leader.
Sean starts out going fakie and then lands that forward. That was a switch stance crip. Now coming into the wake forward for a tantrum. That's one of Sean's favorite tricks. He's great at that, really laying them out. There's a half cab roll. Sean desperately trying to get the right edge in these rough conditions. Nails his hoochie glide to fakie. He's got one more trick left.
Murray doesn't hang on, and that 1,550-point Scarecrow Mobius, Tony, might be the thing that cost him the lead.
Sean Murray was just a little late on the handle pass to clean that trick.
Oh, so close for Murray. Tony Finn is with him top 3, but here's a guy who could definitely come in and make a big difference right away. Jeremy Kovac out of Canada.
Jeremy Kovac has definitely trained before in these type of rough water conditions. Plus, Jeremy Kovac is very technically correct. Look at that right there. The Mobius, beautiful handle pass, does it perfectly. And there's an air Mobius. Back-to-back Mobiuses in these water conditions, followed with the front side front flip. That's a world record capability pass in these type of conditions. Unbelievable.
We've seen Jeremy Kovac throw up to 3 Mobius in one particular tournament. Here's the first.
The handle pass is perfect. He lands it perfectly on that Mobius. And then following it straight up with his air Mobius. Rough water's no problem for this guy, Jeremy Kovac.
Kovac, oh, look at this. The Mobius pays off. 10,382 points on pass number 1.
Pass number 2, starting just as fine for Kovac. Big Rayleigh. He's only got 2 more tricks left. If he nails them both, he'll certainly overtake Greg Nekrasen for the lead. There's the air front flip. Coming into the wake front side here for the front side, front roll to revert. He nailed it.
An easy 8,000 points, Tony, would do it right now over Nekrasen.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got that many points. Look at that air front flip, doing a flip without even the use of the wake, just banking off the wake and then just rotating and nailing it. And then here he comes in the wake for a scarecrow. Look at how tight he keeps the handle. The handle the whole time stays right in on his chest, allowing him to get the right rotation.
That board bouncing in the rough water. Back to action. Dean Lavelle on the water, giving his shot at taking over the lead.
Here comes Clean Dean. We'll see how clean he can be today. Starting out fakie for a switch stance crib.
Dean's had a rough ride so far this season, especially after that devastating loss at the X Games when Parks Bonifay just took it away from him when he fell.
Whoa, nice laid out switch stance tantrum for Dean. Front flip to fakie. Oh, goes down.
Dean Lavelle needed big points to take over Jeremy Kovac, and he's not going to get it.
Jeremy, on that first pass, a mob and an air mob, both super clean and big.
It's rough. You know, everyone is just a gamble out there. You know, I just went out there and said, listen, I'm either going to do it or I'm not, and I did it.
Well, today it looks like you did it, and you're currently in the lead.
I'm a happy man.
And how happy is Dean Lavelle? Not very. 59-25, mathematically basically impossible in the second pass.
Yeah, he's out of it. He's just doing it right now for the crowd. Goes for a front side half cab front flip, followed by an air front flip.
How frustrating is it knowing that you're out of it?
It's pretty frustrating. And Dean just looks like he couldn't hold on right there.
Oh, man.
But, you know, some guys, like good competitors like Dean, they'll go out and charge anyway just because, hey, they're wakeboarding. Wakeboarding's a fun sport. They're having fun behind the boat. But, I mean, it's very difficult in these conditions. I mean, you can tell he just can't get the edge into the wake. And even if he could have held on to it, in the normal conditions, the rough water just made it
2,000 points. And here's one young man who could certainly take it away. He's done it all season long. Parks Bonifay.
Parks is so consistent that he may be a guy that can ride well even in these conditions. He's not going as big as he normally would. He's just trying to stand up his tricks. But so far he's doing it, and he's doing it very, very well. 11 seconds left on that freestyle clock. Switch stance crip for Parks. 5 seconds left. Here's the big trick. It's the S-bend. A railing with the full twist. That's killer.
Plenty of time for Parks Bonifay, and it was big.
Let's watch what happens here on this S-bend. Really good carving.
Two-time boys world champion, 10,300 points for Parks' first run. 2 times boys national champion, winner at the X Games.
This guy's just going off. Oh, look at that rough water right there. Caught the nose of his board, but Parks held on. A switch stance front flip where he took off fakie, did a front flip, and landed fakie. Here's a tantrum with the full twist.
There it is.
A tantrum with the bobias, a whirly bird, and then a switch stance tantrum, and it's going to be close. It's going to be extremely close between Parks and Jeremy. Both had great stand-up passes.
Parks is riding for that steak dinner in Omaha tonight.
Nice rotation. Look how he just keeps the rope really nice and tight. He has so much on the water experience that he can go for it even in these conditions. Now here's a whirly bird. It's a tantrum, and then the board goes around 360 degrees as the rope's over his head.
Parks Bonifay, 10,335. We didn't even think we'd see anybody over 20,000 today in these conditions. Here's your winner, folks. Parks Bonifay takes it in Omaha, Nebraska. And a tough one after such a great ride from Jeremy Kovac. Tony Finn's with our winner.
Parks Bonifay, you did it again. A couple off weeks, but you're back in the winner's circle.
Yeah, everything is really, really bumpy out there, but you have to deal with it. I threw together a pretty easy run, but I was sort of questionable watching everybody handle this rough water, so went out there.
Well, you're one of the only guys I know that can call a S-bend and a whirly bird an easy run.
Well, you know, the previous tournaments I've been throwing like a Vulcan, but I decided to bump it off this tournament because it's been so rolly. So I just stuck to 2 easier tricks.
So, Betty, how proud can a mother be of a guy like Parks?
Oh, I don't even have words for it. I'm so proud of him. He just goes out there and has a good time and always has some fun, and he just does it. We're so proud of him.
So Parks Bonifay pushes the dagger even deeper. The Cafe de Colombia International Wakeboard Cup leads it with 711 points. Next time we talk to you, we're way out.